live stream. I'm not that good. How is everyone?
We're live.
Now you have to do it.
Oh, here we go. Well, what have I been learning? Mr. Bojangles. Don't know if anyone can actually hear that, by the way. It's coming through my phone at the minute, so there you go.
Come on, keep going.
Here we go. Emotions and just you in no one shoes, superhero red shirt and baggy pants, that old soft shoe, and that's all you get, folks. There we go. How's that for an intro to the call? I was singing as well. Dion's blushing for me.
Some pub music.
Yeah.
Here.
Oh, that's not
nice. Why not? What not? What not? What did I say wrong? Yeah.
Nothing. You said nothing. That was good.
Yeah.
I used to play the classical guitar. My parents couldn't afford a piano, so they got me a classical guitar.
Space saving too. Those pianos.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's wait a few minutes. We're still a little short and light, so.
We tried to buy a full-size piano for Dion a while back because she plays quite well. And she got all the way to the lady's house, which was pretty much 2 cities over, so a good 40, 50-mile drive. And they realized this thing weighs, what was it? Maybe, I don't know, 200-300 kilos and would have smashed the suspension. So they tried to drag it a little bit, gouged holes in the lady's floor, and then had to give up. So they just left with their tails between their legs and sorry.
Good delivery planning.
Oh wow, Kurt Cobain on the stream.
You just got called Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
There you go. A little bit of Nirvana while we're waiting for everyone to arrive. There you go.
We're starting off lively today. Awesome. Well, let's see. I guess we can start, yeah? I think so. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming to Everscale Community Call number 91. We only have a couple of presentations today, but they're chock full of information, really packed. So we're going to have a lot of info today, despite the fact that we're not diversified as we usually are, which I think probably is a good thing. Just a little bit of call etiquette for anybody that might be viewing us for the first time. Please turn your cameras on. Please save your questions until each presenter is finished and use the raise your hand feature in Zoom to do so. For our beloved YouTube guests, please write your questions in the YouTube stream, and I see there's already one, and we'll get to it at the very end of the call. And as a matter of formality, the call is conducted in English only. So let's go ahead and hop right in. Technical updates are first, as always. Mita, if you can start us off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we're still not delivered the update to the network. It takes a little longer because it's a little bit complicated. Because the changes we are going to introduce are breaking changes. And the problem with that is it's not only breaking changes in terms of the node, it's also breaking changes in terms of the SDK and all of that which follows. And that means that we kind of need to find a way to kind of gracefully change without breaking everyone's applications out there. So, and the problem with that is that, unfortunately, the previous design didn't accommodate for any extensions. Wasn't extendable. It isn't extendable at all. So, like, someone who designed that didn't think that the design will never ever need to be extended to anything. Like, that's the final design. This is as great as it gets, and so on and so forth. You know that drill. So, well, apparently it is not so. It's need to be upgraded, and with many things, current upgrades and the future upgrades. So anyway, there's a lot of internal kind of discussions how to do that properly were conducted. In the end, we kind of settled on something. It's not yet fully implemented, and there's also, because it involves also the transition plan for the SDK and, you know, the applications, the users. It involves all these applications that runs and serves like tens of thousands of users currently, and you cannot just go lightly about that, because of the, like, you know, user experience should not be such that you open applications suddenly stop working. So yeah, so it will take a little bit more time. Not sure how much. Hopefully maybe this week, if not next week, but working hard on that. It was all tested, like all the changes that we wanted, we all did it. Like, it's all chat tested, the new instructions, there are 5 of them, 5 or 6 of them. They're all working, they all have been thoroughly tested. There are some upgrades that, apart from that, that's also are important upgrades, security upgrades. But so this is the status currently about that. It's not that critical, but still. So another thing is that I think there was released a roadmap for Everscale. I think yesterday, something. So this one, and I just want to kind of ask me to comment on several things which relates to what EverX is doing, and EverX is new name for Tone Labs. If you didn't know.
Yay!
So yeah, we have a new logo as well. Thanks, John. And so yeah, so let me comment on this part of the roadmap, maybe. So first of all, in terms of some of the dates provided here are kind of, and we got a lot of questions in several chats and KWPC chats as well, for like the flex is listed on Q3. Well, I can tell you that dense is listed on Q4. Well, while obviously this is just things that probably I said, and you know, instead of, when you put a roadmap, right, you cannot put soon there. That's really unfortunate. So I think they just multiplied whatever I said by a factor of 3. And you know, if you want to give a commitment, then that's probably what you need to do. And that's the problem with dates and the roadmaps, right? Because I'm telling you right now, nobody, simply nobody the hell knows when these things will be delivered. Okay, this is a true state of the development of anything, which is a little bit more complicated than, you know, than 3 lines of code. So but in like, so there are no real dates, but when you pressed to make an assumption, then the best strategy you could you know, choose in order not to be held accountable is just to multiply everything you say by some factor of whatever. You choose the factor, right? 3, 4, 5, whatever. So that's what you see here, more or less. And the things that are in delivery in Q1 is like something that has already been done, more or less. I think. Well, at least I'm talking about our stuff, like whatever EverX is is responsible for. So when you see here Flex Q3, no, Flex is not coming in Q3. It will come much, much sooner than that. But I just wanted to kind of, so don't panic. There's a lot of people who panic. Why Q3 Flex? No. Flex is not coming into Q3. So don't worry. But just to be on the safe side, it states Q3. So that's one thing I wanted to say. Another thing is that like bottom line, many of the things that are stated here will come much sooner than it is stated here. But for the safety of the kind of roadmap, they're just given more time, right? Okay, so I just want to comment on a few things. The decrease in gas that it says up to 100x. There will be a decrease of gas, that's for sure, this quarter. I'm not sure it will be, I'm sure it won't be 100x. And the reason for that is because you need a whole other range of technologies to support economically the scalability of the system. So, in order to do that, you need really the dynamic gas fees, which is listed in Q3. Because without that, you cannot start new work chain. And without starting a new work chain, there is a limit of scalability in one work chain anyway, right? There's a physical limit of the blocks that you can transmit over the network currently. And so if you make it 100x smaller, the fees, you will end up in Solana situation. Of course, not exactly in Solana situation, because I think we can sustain like more TPS on one work chain, but still it is very close to Solana situation where it costs nothing to spam the network. And if it's cost nothing to spam the network, someone will come and spam the network. Right. So you need a dynamic gas fees. So there is a trade-off somewhere. So the gas fees will decrease, but not by 100%, 100x. I mean, that's one thing. Then there are some other things that I want to mention. For example, this new things that you see, and they got the questions about that. So there is a Gosh Git on chain source holder. And this is a new project we're doing. And it's a Git basically on chain. And it's mentioned in the white paper, actually. So we're just executing white paper. And I also want to comment, I heard somewhere someone said that not the white paper won't be like Everscale part of white paper won't be necessarily fully developed. Well, that's not the case from our perspective. Everything that is written technically in white paper, talking about technical part of the white paper, is in the plan or is already been developed. So it will be developed fully because we don't have currently I don't have any problem with specs. Like all the specs we believe are solid and need to be done. And that's really for us, the roadmap, there is nothing new in terms of the EverOX operating system. There is nothing new that maybe some things are actually missing in this roadmap that we're going to do, but because the roadmap shouldn't be that detailed. But we are still on track to implement everything that white paper is talking about. One of the things white paper is talking about is Git on chain. Git on chain is extremely important for many aspects that I don't want to touch, just for the security of the network. First thing, like we are right now, not only Everscale, like every blockchain is holding its repositories on some centralized Git repository owned by Microsoft or GitLab in general, right? This is a huge problem. This is a really huge problem. It's a security problem, and it is the centralization problem. Like who decide what? Like the repositories, the centralized repositories, they always have one owner, a single person who owns them, and that is a huge problem in a decentralized world, of course. So we need to fix that, and several other things. So we're working on that. We hope to show demo sometimes in May. So yeah, so that's the questions that I got about this ones. There are other questions, I think, that Ron put me there.
Yeah, I did. You can answer them now, or
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
answer them at the end of the call. It's up to
Oh,
you.
I'm already talking about the roadmap. So can you use drive chain as database? No, you can use blockchain as a database. Drive chain is for storage, like it's storage. So drive chain is listed in Q4, and actually, and in fact, I think this is correct timing, because drive chain is not yet been implemented, but of course, we are definitely planning to do that. Never, the questions about never, ever and never. There is a TIP3 stablecoin expansion stated here. I'm not going to because it's a part of DeFi Alliance, and actually questions to DeFi Alliance. So not even DeFi Alliance, but I think DeFi self-governance, because they run this ever never stablecoin contest. So I don't know, Vlad maybe will be able to.
Yeah, I think they're actually
yeah.
going to talk
No,
about it.
I'm here to
I will
know that.
comment.
Yeah. Okay, from my perspective, that's all questions I got. If you have any questions about our part, it's basically EverOS is what EverX is doing. Most of it, except for ZK Snark protocol, which already been implemented by new foundation team, and will be this quarter. We will try to push that into production. And other than that, Flex, of course, which is coming, and decentralized fund management protocol, maybe, because like it's one of the protocols has been presented by KWPC, so I can answer on that as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mitya. We do have a couple questions. Michael, first.
Yeah, I'm just wondering whether you can share that into the Telegram group as a JPEG so that we can circulate it on socials, and I think more importantly to the investors in our ecosystem.
Sorry to interrupt. I will share the presentation with all these materials into the group. It's PDF.
Awesome.
Okay. Ivan, you have a question?
Isn't it necessary to have drive chain running for doing this Gosh stuff, or drive chain is not needed here? Why is it earlier than drive chain?
Drive chain is not necessary. Drive chain is only necessary for storing binaries. Yeah, I know a lot of people storing binaries in Git, but Git is not built for that in general. You can do that because like you can store everything anywhere, and you can store files in the file system, right? So yeah, so in order to store binaries, you will need to drive chain, and we are going to enable the storage of the binaries in Gosh, but when the drive chain will be ready, beforehand you won't be able to store binaries.
And how do you expect the size of repositories, for example, Everx repositories in Gosh?
Like it's the Gosh. Maybe it's not the time to talk about that. Maybe we'll have another session on, if you want, on the architecture of Gosh. But the single contract can store without any problem up to 2,500 lines of code, around that number, 3,000 something, because it's compressed. So so because we don't see this, like there's rarely see files which are more than that. You can usually store them in just one basically message. So we don't see any problems with.
Yeah, actually, one contract can accumulate more than that, but yeah.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
but
I
several
understand.
messages. I'm talking about one message.
Okay.
And thank you for your question, Ivan. We have a question from Michael Cabana. Excuse me, frog in my throat. Michael?
Yeah, hi guys. Mitch, I would like to chase back the issue about the dark pools. The last time we spoke, it was the 10th of February, the approximate date of their launch. What's the current status? Would you mind telling the audience? Thank you.
Yep, the dark pools have, I think, passed by now formal verification stage. It has now been integrated into websites. We will release the interfaces to dark pools this week. So you can start because I got some inquiries about that. So you can start integrating your whatever applications you have with dark pools, so you can show them status of them in your application. And once these front ends for dark pools will be ready, then you will be able to use them basically. Just we're working on user interfaces. The dark pools are ready.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ivan, if you have another question, go ahead. If not, can you put your hand down? Thank you. All right, let's move on. We have Michael Gord, obviously with us, who's already introduced himself from GDA Capital. There were a few questions in the chats about the status of the Ton startup competition, which now is the Everscale startup competition. So Michael, we'll go to you for all the details, please.
Yeah, so we just finished about a week and a half ago the registration. We had about 275 teams that registered, which was about 50 projects. Everything from NFT marketplaces, DeFi tools, kind of social tools, not all built on Everscale, unfortunately, but quite a bit. The three teams that, and we've had it judged by the GDA Capital team, the TDeFi team, Nikita from Freeton, and then another investment group, J Nero Capital. We have prepared a communication to the market for Medium that highlights what we suggest as the three winners, and then two honorary mentions. If anyone in this group wants to see the full selection, I'm happy to share it. And if you guys can, or if anyone can complete the judging, in the next 24 hours, then we could perhaps release it Wednesday or Thursday as opposed to today. But we're getting quite a lot of messages from DevPost, which is the platform we used, about when the winners are going to be announced. So we would like to get it out. The three products that we have currently got as the three winners are Convo Space, which is a social app that is actually cross-chain, so it integrates into several other blockchains as well, and that allows you to have all your conversations in one place with one line of code. So that was pretty cool. And the other two, let me just see the names. The other two are Drainbase, which is a NFT, or actually Drainbase is a platform focused on the Africa audience to be able to have a community and an NFT ecosystem around music and around writing. So any writing can actually be minted as an NFT on the platform. So I thought it was pretty cool. And the third is Demeter, which is an NFT charity auction platform and marketplace. All three of these projects actually have quite built out teams and technology. So I think that it's quite possible that they continue. And what I would suggest as a follow-up to this competition is us linking this to a Everscale accelerator that can perhaps work with these with not necessarily all of them, but work with some of the groups that we think are marketable and that we can scale to get to the point where they're able to, you know, close their seed Series A rounds and become marketable. And I think that would also result in quite a lot of publicity if we introduce a kind of early stage accelerator to Everscale accelerator to markets, and then that some of these teams start to enter the accelerator. I think it would also present a way to generate some cash flows that could be reinvested into the network, and that kind of ties into the Crystal Handshake program that is for more established businesses. I think this like an early stage accelerator kind of fills the gap in getting projects from like this very early unfunded stage, that, you know, a 3-month program kind of thing, 5-month program where it's an accelerated way for them to raise their first, you know, $1 to $5 million, and then to be able to deploy that further into scaling to get to the point where they can access the Crystal Handshake program. So that's one suggestion that I'd have to move forward. In addition, I think that whether we do an accelerator or not, and I'm happy to hear all of your feedbacks. And I'm also happy to kind of champion the putting together of it. I think that it might be worthwhile for us to follow up with any of the relevant teams that are building on Everscale, so that ideally, whether we are like formally working with them in an accelerator capacity or not, I think it's in our best interest for as many of them as possible to come to like introduce to the market their like, you know, that they're building on Everscale and why. I think also it would be great if we can kind of leverage this to expand the number of nodes. So those are kind of thoughts on what I would do with the with these now like 275 people that are you know, somewhat in the in more or less capacity in the Everscale ecosystem, and to continue to bring them in further. And then also we had about 25,000 views on the website, the Top 10 startup website, which I think is pretty good with no paid ads, just organic. Yeah, so that's kind of a summary of the numbers from the event, and then my suggestions on what we should follow up with, specifically the accelerator, the having a node program, and, you know, further bringing these organizations, like new startups, into our ecosystem.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. I actually had a question for you. Is it possible to get one or all of these folks maybe to come on next Tuesday's call?
Yeah, that's a really good idea. I think that it's, you know, good publicity for all of them. It'll give us a good indicator of, especially the 3 winners, I think, for sure. I think it'll give us a good indicator of whether they're serious projects that want to continue. If they are, you know, if they are open to coming and presenting, then that is a level of additional credibility that, you know, they're serious and that we should invest more time into them. So yeah, I think that's a good suggestion. I'm happy to put that in motion. And maybe it won't happen like all of them next Tuesday, but maybe the next
no
weeks,
pressure.
we can be bringing them in.
Yeah, no pressure. Just DM me. All right.
Yeah,
cool.
Will do. Any other thoughts?
Anybody have a question? Anybody have a thought? I guess not. Michael.
So
awesome.
Yeah, people think that or don't object and think it's not a bad idea. I'm happy to, over the next week or two, put together some branding around what an accelerator, like early stage accelerator, might look like. That we can perhaps bring a cohort from this into, and kind of think about how to take it to market. But that was
yeah.
Pardon?
Sorry, I cut you off. Sorry.
Someone have a question?
Yeah, actually, Alex does.
Yeah, Michael, thank you very much. My question is, you started answering already, is about the next steps, like what's coming next from you guys. You started answering about the accelerator, and will there be like the second hackathon already under the Everscale brand?
Yeah. Well, definitely, we're gonna totally shelve the top ton startup brand, and the next one we do in this startup competition capacity will be focused on Everscale with new Everscale branding. The initial plan when we came to market with this was that we use this as a launching ground to set up an accelerator and kind of roll businesses or funnel businesses from startup incubation to acceleration to getting to the Crystal Hands program. So yeah, that's, unless anyone objects, that's the next step for us. I'm happy to share progress on it next week or the following week, and if any of you want to participate in any capacity in an accelerator, that would be welcome. And then similarly, nodes and further bringing them into the ecosystem. So I think Ron's suggestion of them presenting here to see how serious they are is also good. So that's on the startup competition. I guess I'll pause now if anyone has any other questions or comments or feedback. And if not, I have another suggestion that I'd like to bring up with everyone or thought.
Does anybody? I don't think there's any objection. I think it's a great idea.
All right, awesome. So I'll start to put together some material around that. And then my other suggestion I'd like to bring up. So we have participated in some quite large activations, or I should say like full enterprise brand integrations of protocols, where essentially the protocol buys the licensing rights for a sports team or for a musician or for some iconic assets that has, the more fans, the better. Where from the sports franchise or from the musician's perspective, they're thinking about it in terms of how do I raise sponsorship? Because they're not thinking about the NFT value or the value of the data on the blockchain. So it's really skewed economics in my opinion, and from what I have directly been involved in, it's been an enormous return on investment for the network in the sense that they put some cash or tokens or consideration on the table, and it results in a market cap increase that is significantly larger than the amount of cash that was put on the table. So it kind of becomes free. And just to go back for a sec, these sports teams or musicians think in terms of sponsorship. They don't understand NFTs. Whereas for us, we think about this in terms of how do we bring activity to a blockchain? How do we bring NFTs, usefulness, users, awareness, scale, etc., to a blockchain? So it's quite a lot of arbitrage that they're thinking about it as sponsorship, and we're thinking about it as buying data, buying NFT rights. So I have a couple groups that sports teams and musicians, celebrities that we've been talking to about this, that I think Everscale would be a really good fit for. So I know as a pause, I wonder if anyone has any suggestions, but I think
we have just the thing. I think we have just the thing. I'll DM you separately.
Awesome. Yeah, because my thoughts here is that we've got like quite a there's quite a significant treasury that is, you know, with a mandate to invest into bringing adoption. And we've done a couple of these before that have been like a really positive ROI. And I think that if we do, you know, 1, 2, then the notoriety and the public awareness of the Everscale blockchain will start to accelerate a ton. So yeah, Ron, I'm happy to chat after this and include you in calls with these groups and see what we can do.
Yeah, I'm gonna, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna form a small group with you and a couple of people that I'm with, and I'll toss my idea in there.
Perfect.
Can I ask another quick one while we have Michael active?
Of course.
Michael, I also noticed a couple of weeks ago that you guys, SGJ Capital, have a Metaverse subsidiary. Saw it on Twitter quite a few times. Forgot the name, but it's something like Metaverse.
Metaverse Group.
Yeah, Metaverse Group. Are there any synergies with the with Everscale that you've been thinking about, or not really? Maybe short
yeah,
one,
for sure.
quick one.
Yeah, for sure. So Metaverse Group is vertically integrated in the Metaverse real estate market. So it owns a portfolio of lands, is building experiences on the land. So we're doing a like a commercial district, a fashion district. We're going to have shopping centers. We've got a stage for concerts. We've got an art gallery for NFTs. And this is all in Decentralands that we have been building, but we own land across about a half dozen other popular metaverses, Sandbox, OmniSpace, CryptoVoxel, World, etc. The two synergies that I see, and I should add that Metaverse Group as an organization, the intention, and I only like DDA owns only a minority amount now. It was basically acquired by tokens.com, which is a public staking company that I'm very keen to get into the Crystal Hands program, and actually did verbally commit, and then long story short, took a while, and now it's kind of in limbo, but that would be really good, and still is definitely low hanging. But the objective is to take it public, and that it is not a venture capital. So it's focused on more like the majority of the portfolio is Decentraland and Sandbox, which we can generate yields from, take the company public, and have an ROI. Separately, our plan is to launch a Metaverse fund called Meadowverse Ventures that fills the gap of being able to invest into equity, into tokens, and into more experimental metaverses, newer metaverses, I could say. We have some interest. We're really looking to close on the lead right now, but I am confident that we'll have it live for Q2. So yeah, the two synergies that I see is one, we are doing Decentraland is doing the Metaverse Fashion Week on our estate in the Fashion District. Metaverse Fashion Week is going to have activations from 28 of the biggest retail brands in the world. I think many of which, if not all of which, are name brands that we've all heard of. And it's gonna be there's gonna be like a runway, a bunch of stores with luxury brands that have NFT wearables, and a bunch of side events. Decentraland is on Ethereum, unfortunately for Everscale, but I think that it would still perhaps have value to have an activation for Everscale during this week, and some like, you know, to either have an art exhibit as a side event, or to have a side runway with designers. We can really be flexible in what we do. We have a stage, we have an art gallery, we've got you know, conference centers that we can leverage for free. It's no cost to us. So that's one, like doing activations on our lands. And then two is that I see that on the roadmap there's Metaverse plans for the Everscale blockchain. So certainly as metaverses are being built on Everscale, that of course there's lots of synergies.
Yeah, there are several from Korea as well, potentially. Yes. All right. That's good stuff, man. Really good stuff. Does anybody have a question for Michael regarding this? Michael, awesome. Thank you so very much. Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Oh, my bad. Thanks, Ron. I appreciate that. And just before we move on, Ron, I wonder whether you have any ideas about synergies with the Metaverse group, or perhaps we could take it offline if you'd like to brainstorm together.
Yeah, let's take it offline. Let's connect, and I think there's several people that we can actually form a group around, and who have very good ideas.
We also just for context for everyone, we did a virtual Metaverse summit last week. Yeah, last week, 10 and 11. We had 4,000 people register, and I believe Nikita and someone else from Everscale, I can't remember who, were on panels. There was 2,000 people that actually watched, 400 to 600 people in any panel, in the audience in any panel. So that's pretty cool. We'll do more of those.
Good. Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. Thank you. Thank you very much. Just blown away here. Michael, thank you as always. Oh, and your internet connection is awesome. All right. Okay, let's move on to our second presentation. So we have well, the Vlad of all Vlads, as I refer to him, from Broxus. He's got hey. He's got a lot to talk about, a lot of updates. Tip 3, tip 3. Yeah,
a number.
I'll let you do
a number, not a lot, but a number.
A number.
Yeah. So let me maybe take it from Nita on the Everscale roadmap here. So just let me share it. Yeah. So a few questions also concerning the development of different sections and how the roadmap was built actually. So it's not an easy task to build the roadmap of a decentralized network, because you need to talk to a lot of people from different sub-governances, yeah, but community, sub-communities. I don't know what word is not prohibited now. Scale.
I don't know. I don't even know.
Yes. Yes. So what we did actually, we talked to a lot of people and gathered together the vision on the development of different streams in Everscale. The terms are approximate, as Mitya said, so you cannot just make it for sure. So, and typically in IT development and specifically in the blockchain development, it doesn't work like this. So if you can do it faster, you typically don't wait and do it faster. But sometimes it happens that the deadlines shifts, and that's always worse than specifying the much later deadline and doing it faster actually. So yeah, this is actually the direction where we would like the Everscale to go in this year, and it's quite a lot. And I personally know not so many other blockchains of our level who have moved significantly further than us, and of course they have some much
Vlad has disappeared, I think.
Yeah, okay. I was hoping it wasn't me.
Everscale, but I'm also speaking about
Yeah, you
Broxus
disappeared.
as well.
You disappeared. You disappeared for about 15, 20 seconds.
Sorry, my
you were saying that there are not a lot of blockchains like ours, but and then you kind of
yeah, I'm saying that not so many other blockchains who are more advanced in terms of ecosystems than us, and certain things that will appear on Everscale. So hopefully they will appear first. And in terms of communication and marketing, so this is the year when we are going to fix that and finally make the solid and streamlined marketing for Everscale and projects in it. I'm also speaking about Broxus, so because this is our priority for this year, not only deliver good products, but also tell about them in a loud voice and yeah, saying about them across the world. So let me maybe comment a few things on the roadmap as well, especially what concerns the DeFi sub-governance. So there are several contests that are going to finish. So the first one is the SSI framework. So it's one of its stages, stage 3, has just finished, and there were 2 teams actually who delivered very good implementations, and I am really keen to see they move further and deliver better results. And with community of 1 team led by Stepan Gershuni, so we will host the AMA session in his channel CryptoSA, where more than 4,000 subscribers, and this is one of our first experiences of speaking to external audiences and external communities, and we will start to do this regularly. So not only internal AMA sessions, but also attracting some guys from outside. So, and if you have any ideas of such communities where we can be speakers and run an AMA session, so please you can ping me or Nikita. So let's arrange this, of course. So, and we will put a really good focus on this. Next thing is TIP3 stablecoins expansion. This is not only about Never stablecoin, which definitely will move further. The only thing that we will need to address and discuss this Thursday is the funding of balance mechanism of Never. I will not just put the things now, so we'll keep it to Thursday. Mitya and I'm really expecting you to be there, so let's discuss this on Thursday.
Sure.
Yeah. Next, in terms of DeFi primitives, so this is the decentralized fund management protocols, tokenization frameworks, and much bigger number of bridges to major ecosystems that will facilitate the transfer not only of liquidity, but rather also making Everscale a hub for cross-chain applications. This is not an easy task, as you may have seen from the wormhole exploit and some other exploits that happen to bridges across the blockchain universe. So, but I'm sure that there is a solution, and we will find it. Speaking about Broxus Bridge specifically, so as we announced in our roadmap, we will be adding at least 3 new blockchains, which are Avalanche, Tron, and Solana. And we will be doing this hopefully really soon. Maybe some other blockchains will also come this year. Also, a good point here is on alliances like Cardano Ecosystem Alliance and Tezos Ecosystem Alliance, and maybe some other blockchains will also come. And we are now experimenting with such way of expansion of Everscale when we find a really strong player in the ecosystem of other blockchain, and we try to find the pain points of the communities and help the communities with Everscale for the benefit of Everscale, of course, but also for the benefit of those communities. So what is happening right now? So as you may have seen, so we have for the moment one-way bridge from Cardano to Everscale, but soon it will be bidirectional. The Cardano-oriented DEX, but this is not the priority to have the DEX for Cardano users, but rather this is an added feature. So as Sergey said on the MA session. So yeah, so if you're interested, so you can listen to it once again. Yeah, so and also there is a very nice point I'm really positive about is the Gamify and Metaverse stream that it's really modest now, so like Gamify pilots and Metaverse SDK, but there are a lot of things standing behind those 2 points, and I think that, and I'm sure that we will see first experiments to appear already, maybe in a month or two. So this is just the beginning, and more points will appear on the roadmap as we move further, and it becomes more clear and obvious what to do. Yeah, so this is some comments on the roadmap. Next thing I wanted to talk about is the migration to a new standard of fungible tokens, which is named TIP 3.1. So that is happening right now. So for several days already, Broxus team is migrating all its products to a new token standard, and the most part is finished already, so especially the part concerning the blockchain, smart contracts, liquidity, and all of this stuff. So now it is the stage where we upgrade our front ends and also test all the stuff thoroughly. I have seen certain activity in chats, people start panicking, so please don't panic. So you remember this from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So you need a towel, and you always need to remember, don't panic. Never. So actually what's going on, so we are testing everything. So that's why we are not stopping the farms yet. So, but definitely we will announce in advance when we are going to stop it. But this will not happen earlier than we have the new DEX front-end deployed. So all of this is just first for the safety of your funds and for convenience of the transfer, because the process of moving is extremely easy. So you need just to take your funds out of the DEX, go to the next new DEX. You will get the window saying that you can upgrade your tokens, and you upgrade the tokens and do everything in reverse order. That's it. So it's very easy. And for custom tokens that are not issued by our products, so we are preparing the instructions. Most of the instructions are already in place. And we will be definitely publishing them at the right moment. So just please have an eye on our groups and channels. So we will inform you at the right moment what you need to do. No worries, absolutely, should be about the mythical permanent loss that may happen due to migration. This is not true. This can happen only in case if someone starts making some big exchanges at this very moment, but it's unlikely because we have warned all major token holders that they must wait at least until the end of the migration. And also, once again, so Broxus will stand with its own liquidity in old pools, liquidity pools and farming pools until the very end, and until all the people migrate, just to help stabilize the exchange rates and help to avoid the potential impermanent loss. So just please stay calm and don't panic. So everything goes as planned. So there is a slight delay on the publication of new version of wEVER Wallet to the Chrome store. So we are expecting it hopefully today. And guys, I hope we'll finish all the tests also today. So, and if everything goes as planned, so already tomorrow we can start publishing all the instructions and announce all the migration of liquidity opened. There is also some teaser that our major products, the bridge and the swap, will receive new names following the rebranding process of Everscale. And also we had a strategy session a couple of weeks ago, where we have chosen a great new names, and so we over those 2 weeks, so we were checking all the trademarks, and the domains availability. We were preparing all the social groups and whatever. So, and I hope that we will be able also to announce the new names this week, but no promises. So now
What are they? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, so now we have a hell amount of work to update all of our guides and move them to new domains, and so that's not easy. So the team is working all week just to structure everything and make all the documentation and tutorials much better interlinked. And in general, we really aiming to radically improve the quality of the documentation and support materials for our products. So if you miss something in our current guidelines, whatever, so please don't hesitate to say this in chat. So because we are collecting all the feedback, and definitely it will help us to prioritize. Yeah, so this is about the tips 3.1 migration, and this migration will also unlock a lot of further development for us, because we were waiting for it to happen. And let me maybe shortly say a few words about what we are going to do in this year. So you may have already read our roadmap. Yeah, so this is the first time we publicly announce it, and there are some great ideas that we really believe will be bringing a lot of value to the whole network. So speaking about Bridge, of course, which is our flagship product. So this not only support of new chains and new tokens. First of all, we will have the much more facilitated token listing mechanism. So it's not in place yet. We are only making its architecture and thinking about this, but definitely this year it will appear, all for the sake of much faster onboarding of new projects. Next is the thing that is called on-chain reputation, which is can work really in line with the development of SSI frameworks on Everscale. And this is something you may have seen in different analytical reports saying that DAOs should now function in a different way So not only by the amount of your stake, but rather on your involvement, based on your involvement and reputation in managing DAOs. And this is something we have in our minds, and our guys already proposed some mechanisms on how this on-chain reputation can be implemented based on your activity in other DAOs. Once we describe it and be ready to publish, so I think that it deserves really a separate presentation of the call. Also, one more non-trivial feature of the bridge is that all the relayers nodes they serve the full nodes actually for blockchains that are connected to them, and such data set can be used to provide some data to the blockchain, to any connected blockchain actually. So, and this means that the bridge can become itself a very strong oracle. So, and this is something we really were lacking, especially in the DeFi segment, but also this is something that can be proposed to other protocols. And last but not least is NFT bridge. So the long-awaited. And we actually have discussed with several teams already on how they envision this NFT transfer between different chains. This is not a very easy task because you need to think about different situations, different use cases of transferring NFTs based on where the content is stored or how the NFT is structured. But all of this really currently is blocked by the uniform NFT standard, pretty much like for the fungible tokens what we have now. So we are hoping that by end of February, so the major NFT developers, so they will agree on certain standard, so that can be used just to integrate into the bridge as well. Speaking about the swap, the major update it will receive this year is its own token and the DAO. So that will be managing the basic parameters of the swap, including curves, including fees for different kinds of pools, including different updates and so on and so forth. But also this means that the DEX will get much more diversity in terms of and possibilities in terms of exchange. We were thinking also about kind of OTC or P2P mechanism for a decentralized exchange. So with a really low or totally no slippage. But there is no still strong position on how to do this. And also, as we are waiting for the appearance of lending protocols in Everscale network, so hopefully we will be able to also offer some marginal trading. So speaking about the Ever wallet, quite a lot will appear there, and the major things that we were asked so many times I cannot even count. So this is collectibles, so you can finally see your NFTs in the wallet. Yay! So this is something that exists in MetaMask for a long period of time already. So and it will appear here as well. So. And once we get the uniform NFT standard, also a good thing and it's a good announcement that finally we've got Everscale application in Ledger Live. So it is still in the developer mode. So if you are willing to test it, so please just turn the developer mode on. You will see the Everscale app. And now we are doing the security audit, so that is required to publish the application in production. And this is really crucial because most of the institutional investors, they prefer hardware wallets to store their keys. And in fact, we have the support for Ledger for more than a year already in Hackathon. So, and hopefully we will be able to use it in Ever Wallet finally. So as soon as it is publicly available. Also, what we would like to improve in Ever Wallet is so we get a lot of really good feedback from our users concerning UX, UI of the wallet, and we are carefully listening to it. So some things definitely will change, making the Ever Wallet even better. And this concerns not only the UI part for users, but it will also concern the interfaces for developers. So making it's much easier to connect the transport to your DApp. Also, one more thing that is also long awaited by the community is the custom token lists. So this will be something we will add both to the Ever Wallet and to the swap. And this custom token list will be managed by different groups and reputable organizations. So there will be definitely a community list that will be managed in the Everscale repo. So and to add your token there, you will need to make the pull request there, so as usual. And there will be also some lists managed, for example, by KWPC, so who, as we discussed some time ago, that probably some tokens of the projects that will be launching on Flex will also appear on our swap, and just to make it possible for users to see this token, so there will be a custom token list that will be doing this, and that will be managed by the KWPC team. And a lot of other stuff. So I will not read out all the roadmap. So if you're interested, so please go to our Medium. So there is a good article explaining everything in detail. So just to not eat out your time. I just decided to name a few things that I personally think are the most crucial ones. And these things really matter a lot for us and for the team, because we really do care about the products we do, and we really want to hear your feedback as well. Yeah, so this is about the roadmap. Also, Sergey wanted to say a few words, so he had some ideas on how we can make the Everscale governance even better. So, Sergey, please.
I think he may have left.
So he left. Okay. Okay. So I will just maybe in this case tease a little. So Defy Alliance is now preparing an additional proposal for some things that can help us make the blockchain governance even better. And so hopefully we will release it this week. Yeah, so and you may have heard about some points at the Russian AMA session that we hosted last week together with Sergey. But also, of course, we'll publish it officially on the forum. Probably we will host another English AMA session this week. So we just have not decided on the time yet, either on Thursday or on Friday. So please keep an eye on our groups. So yeah, I think that's the major updates, and I hope I didn't forget anything. Too many information in my head.
It's a lot of information, but it's kind of like a, you know, if a movie lasts for 3 hours, but it's The Godfather, you don't miss a beat. It's something you want to listen to. So that is a lot of information to digest, but it's a lot of very useful and good information. I didn't even have a chance to write down the questions that I had, but I'll ask the individually. I'll DM you like I always do.
No worries.
It's fantastic. And by the way, I absolutely empathize with your rebranding situation. You're not alone, my friend. There's a lot of that going on.
Yes, it's a pain.
It is a pain.
But it's a good pain, you know. So this is something.
I don't know about
move,
that.
Move forwards. Yeah.
I don't know about that, but okay.
Oh,
Thank you, Vlad. Thank you very much. Does anybody have a question? Yeah. Excellent. Thank you so much. All right. I think normally we'd have our closing segment, Ben Spitz, but Ben, he wrote in the Zoom chat, he's not with us today. He has a very important appointment that he has to attend to, so we're going to skip that and see him next week. And I think we could just go and right to questions. So let's start with YouTube. There's only, well, there's two, 1.5. What about Rust Cup prices, Mita? Somebody asks, hey, everybody, what about Rust Cup prices? I don't know exactly what that means, but maybe you do.
That's yeah, I do. We're waiting for, as I said, the plan is to release dark pools as an intermediate kind of solution for that, which I commented on in the beginning, the status, and that's that. Then it's a decision of the governance when and how it in practice will be kind of distributed. We're building the tools, so so the tools are ready now. On the front end is missing, and if you want to build a front end, by the way, you're welcome to do so. We will release the interfaces to the contracts, and so you can do that. Other than that, we're building the Delector smart contract as plan goes, and once it has been developed and validated, verified, we're going to replace the Electro smart contract with the Delector smart contracts. It's a big change, actually, in terms of like the whole architecture of everything, because that will deprecate Elector and it will deprecate the pools as well. So it's a huge change to the kind of underlying whole blockchain infrastructure in terms of staking. It's a very good change as well. So no more elections and stuff like that. No more stress to the network, liquidity, fuel, everything supported. And one that's like a huge underlying technology for all the DeFi infrastructure as well. Important. So yeah, but and it's simplification, actually, believe it or not. So as every good design should actually simplify things. So yeah, but before it's done, then there is an intermediate solution. Well, that's it basically.
Okay, thank you. And the second question, I think it's been partially answered, but I'll ask it for the sake of announcing it. Will there be a separate Q&A session for the ever/never monetary system? Vlad.
We can do that at any time.
Yeah. So I think that we will have a discussion about this on Thursday on the DeFi sub-governance call. So if you're interested, please come and feel free to ask questions.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
We can do the separate session afterwards if the community feels it's necessary. It's not a problem. Again, there is a published design of that for a year already. More than a year. so it's like
it's very simple system. So actually, nothing too complicated compared to what Mita is doing right now with the network.
No, it's not too simple system, because it's still there are decree auctions there are some subsystems.
Yeah, but the concept itself is really easy to understand.
Yeah, it should be easy, I would say this way, because I have already, because for me what I consider easy sometimes then just people coming to me and saying, oh, it's very complicated. Okay.
It's because you're a rock star, Media. Not everybody can be a rock star.
I don't think because of that, but anyway, let's skip this point.
All right, we have a few questions that were written to us, so let me sort of run through these really quickly, and then we can disperse. The first question is, how is the project with the company Kamaz going? The answer to that is that they're expecting a MVP in March. That's not set in stone, but that's the protracted goal. Can you please share any news regarding the contest for the development of a voting solution with zero knowledge proofs? Yes, I can. And I will paraphrase it now. So there's good news. The voting protocol implementation contest is finished. Nil Foundation presented a what's called Vote Saver protocol, which basically, and they had an AMA, by the way, about it, which you can find in the chats. There was a 2-week-long Q&A discussion between the judges, and it pretty much got settled within the subgovernance chat itself. The jurors pretty much got their questions resolved, and the result is that there's now a mass scale voting setup that can preserve voter privacy. Now, the next thing is they're awaiting a good UI UX, and they are waiting for a first use case. That's the hard part, as always, right? So voting something like this is a major undertaking. It's not a meme or something like that. It's very complicated, but I'd like to note that Eugene Morozov is heavily pushing a use case in the United States through the American Blockchain PAC, PAC, which basically means political action committee, right? I believe that's what PAC means. Yeah, it's like super PAC. It's a political action committee. So who knows? Maybe that'll be our first use case. Maybe something else. But essentially, it's moved quite a bit. So there's an actual solution out there. We have another question. Give me a sec here. Right. So regarding the same contest, why were there only 2 submissions? I don't know. Because the only two teams were able to make submissions. This is not an easy contest. I mean, you're literally, changing, like Miti likes to say, you're changing paradigms. You're changing the way voting works. This is, this isn't, as easy as, making postcards or something. This is complicated work. And the follow-up question to that is, the contest guarantees 1 million EVERs to the winner. Well, I mean, ask yourself, what would a major world government dish out if they were a good world government for changing voting protocols? How much money would they put to something like this? Billions of dollars? I mean, I think not only is it fair, I think it's if there's a solution that actually works and gets implemented, by golly, it's cheap, cheapest ever in the history of mankind. So I think I hope that answers your question. And one final question, which team will make the lending protocol for the roadmap? Lending as in to lend money, I'm assuming, not land.
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, who's going to do that?
Keep an eye just on you. So I'm not sure if I can disclose the team. But if the guys want, so they will present their work themselves. So for some reason, we didn't manage actually to run in Defy governance because there were not so many submissions and not so many interests for doing this. Although this is something I personally believe really interesting and challenging topic of making the credit protocols on blockchain. Because I used to do something similar in the past, and it's extremely interesting, and there's a lot of very fancy math and other stuff. But hopefully they will make the announcements. Not sure about terms, but I hope that it will happen this month.
Okay, well, as I said, only 2 presentations, but a lot of information to digest. So with that, last call for questions or comments. 3, 2, 1. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you on Tuesday.
Thank
We
you.
already have some stuff
Yeah,
lined up,
thank
and
you,
maybe,
guys.
as we discussed earlier with Michael Gord, maybe we'll have some interesting project winners coming to speak about what they're going to do with the Everscale startup competition. So thank you very much for coming. Goodbye.
Thanks all. Bye-bye.
Cheers.